Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center, hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, is no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different. Blindfold on me, I still got the most vision. Trendsetter.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Carnivore Evolution. Today we have three co-hosts. It's Angela Lero, Mark Ennis, and myself, Victoria Olson, and our guest, Scott Everson. Thank you for joining us, Scott. We're very happy to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, we want to hear from you. We know that you have recovered from several health issues, including autoimmunities, on the carnivore diet, and that you are the progenitor of Meat Stock, the famous gathering for carnivores that you started in 2023. Was it?
I guess that's right. It feels like it's been longer, but yeah, 2023.
Wow. Well, I got a
Yeah.
ticket for 2026, and I'm looking forward to being there and meeting you in person.
All right. Yeah, we'll share some
Excellent.
brisket.
Excellent. So please give us some history on your approaching the carnivore diet and what it has done for you.
Oh man, well that's a tough one. Okay, I'll try to break it down. It's a bit of a long story. I don't want to bore your listeners to the absolute death. Um, so I think it really started for me. I would say probably around 2015. I was put on a very long course of antibiotics, Cipro, which I'm
Um,
sure Angela is quite familiar with, and you guys are too.
I've had it.
Um, yeah, and I saw a urologist at the time because I was having a lot of kidney pain, blood in my urine, and so on, and they thought it was a kidney infection. So, kidney infections, if you do legitimately have one, it could be a serious thing, right? So, they put me on 1,000 milligrams, which is the highest dose of Cipro at the time, anyway. And normally you'd be put on Cipro 1000 for about a week. I ended up being on it for about 4.5 weeks because I kept bleeding and having issues. Shortly after I stopped the course of antibiotics, my stomach went from almost, the perfect stomach made of steel. I could handle anything I wanted to. Never had any gut issues or anything like that. And then it turned into horrific gut issues that have never really healed since then.
Oh, dear.
It's been I mean, probably going on 11 years now. And I just, I don't want to get into too dirty details of it, but some of the first symptoms I noticed was just like extreme gut pain. I had like really, really bad breath. Uh, and I was just like, that's when I got addicted to chewing gum constantly because my breath was so horrible. Uh, I couldn't eat anything. I was sensitive to everything. Um, and then uh, I also noticed my mental health really started to decline at that point. I went through a lot of stress, and kind of the worst part about that is that it really coincided with a really dark period in my life on top of that. So shortly after that happened, my grandmother died. I had a really close personal friend of mine who passed away. A couple other people like, coworkers and stuff. It just seemed like it was just this weird transition that 2 years where everyone around me was passing away. I was kind of, I was about 35 years old in this sort of weird crossroads in my life. And I became severely depressed. And I think it was a combination of developing severe mental health issues combined with the circumstantial situation I was in at the time. Um, so, really, to make a long story short, they put me on psychotropic drugs. And you guys know how doctors are. You go in there for 3 minutes. It's like McDonald's drive-through. They're like, "Oh, what are you dealing with?" "Oh, I'm pretty depressed. Some people I know died, and I don't know. I was having some mental struggles anyway after the antibiotics." "Okay, great. Here's some antidepressants. Here's the anti-anxiety medication. You're good to go." Have a good day. Follow up in 6 months. It's actually kind of comical when you look back on it, but it's also very sad.
Yes.
Um, and So I got put on benzodiazepines, and if you guys have followed the story of Jordan Peterson, I know he's quite well known in this community. That when he tried to get off the benzos, they actually had to go to Russia to be put into a self-induced coma to get taken off this medication. It is the worst. I think me personally, this is my personal opinion. I think it's worse than any other. Opioids don't even hold a candle to benzodiazepines because these have a very profound neurologic effect that lasts a very long time. Because the problem is that when you try to get rid of when you try to get rid of benzos, your body doesn't know how to regulate GABA anymore. And that is what GABA is what keeps you calm. GABA is what keeps you regulated. Once you remove that, it literally feels like somebody's holding a gun to your head 24/7. You could go weeks without sleeping. You could literally have you develop something called mast cell activation syndrome, where basically your mast cells are attached to every cell in your body. They're all over from head to toe. You have mast cells everywhere almost throughout your entire body. So you start developing histamine intolerance, which are attached to mast cells. And literally, you develop every symptom from every disease. So I've had people with cancer say it's a million times worse than cancer. And I know Angela, I don't want to put words in Angela's mouth because Angela's had both. And I think she could probably attest to it.
Well,
You
you
could
know
be
that's how people
anaphylactic.
get shot. This
Yeah.
is how we
You
bonded.
could be yeah, you could be anaphylactic to foods all the way to the point where it's like, basically every day, like my main symptoms were extreme brain fog, um, akathisia, where it feels like you have worms crawling up your bones, like you can't sit straight and you have to move all day long. Um, Severe just anxiety, heart palpitations, vision issues, like I couldn't see properly. My skin, I had to cake it in steroids because it was just on fire all day long. Shooting pain, nerve pain. I can't even like hundreds of symptoms. Like it just going weeks without sleeping at a time. Uh, it was wild. It was wild. That lasted for years. It wasn't always as bad as it was, but it gradually got better over time. But here I am 9 years later, and I'm still not recovered. Um, so I really think it is one of the worst diseases that you could get. It's I like had I known what I would have gone through, I like now back then, I don't know if I would have stayed around, to be honest. I just stayed around thinking that, well, maybe this will end sometime soon. So I'm not going to give up hope. But unfortunately, in our world, I would say that there's such a mass turnover of people that don't make it. There's a lot of people who decide, unfortunately, to take their lives after a year or two because they just can't deal with the symptoms anymore. Um, so it's absolutely horrific, and it's really not known. I think that everyone talks about opioids, but this is really an epidemic of these drugs like Xanax and lorazepam and Valium and all these other drugs that are the worst, most dangerous drugs out there. And and then somebody had mentioned I can't remember what it was. Well, there's a couple things that happened. So I was in a SIBO group. I got tested for SIBO, and that was like part of my journey. Um, and somebody had mentioned that they resolved all their symptoms through carnivore, but I wasn't quite convinced. I still thought it was crazy. I'm like, okay, whoever does this diet, like, where are you getting your anti-nutrients from, where you're getting your phyto chemicals and it's like you can't live. What about vitamin C and fiber? I had all these ideas in my head, and now when I think back, I'm like, well, geez, these people are so brainwashed. I was one of them, and we probably all were at some point when we first heard about this diet, right? I didn't have a super open mind, but then actually, if you could believe this, I was on my honeymoon in Hawaii, and still dealing with horrific symptoms. And I started talking to this guy on the beach, and he's reading Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. Okay. And sorry, there's a big wasp around me. Uh, and we get talking, and he's like, "Yeah, do you know about this Jordan Peterson guy? Because you're from Toronto, and Jordan Peterson is from Toronto." Well, it actually turns out Jordan Peterson lived two streets down from me, and I actually recognized him because they had dogs. And when I saw his picture, I was like, "Oh my god, I've actually seen this guy many times walking around my neighborhood." And I didn't really know who he was. I thought maybe he's like some kind of underground author or something like that. But I started looking into him. This guy that I met on the beach piqued my interest. And then Jordan Peterson just blew up. Like he just became massive. Like, especially at that time, everyone in the world knew who he was. And he started talking about this carnivore diet. And I said, man, and he resolved all the symptoms. And that's what convinced me. I'm like, I'm going to try this out, see what happens. So I did it. This was in 2021. And I'm trying to keep this story short. There's things that happened in between there, but so 2021 I went carnivore, and I did that for I don't know, about 2 months. And within about 6 weeks, I saw some really massive improvements. Like I just kind of woke up one day. I was like, whoa, I could actually like eat food, and I'm not like going crazy to everything. Like I'm just, my mental symptoms have really gone down. My pain's gone down. Um, but unfortunately, I got, I don't know if I want to say it, the C word, COVID. Am I allowed to say that on
Mm,
these channels, or is the
yes.
algorithm going to kill us?
Yes. No,
Anyway,
I
I
hope
got
not.
COVID. And I know that some people in our community think, oh, COVID's not a real thing, whatever. I don't know. Whatever it was, I was extremely ill. Okay. Like on my deathbed ill. I didn't get put on a ventilator or anything like that, but I had a severe reaction to it where I basically just got long haul COVID. So just as I was starting to feel better, I got hit with COVID. Great timing, right? Um, and then carnivore didn't work for me anymore. It was hard to tell if it was helping. Like maybe it was. Stupidly enough, I decided I'm going to abandon the carnivore diet for now. I'm just going to be in survival mode. I started getting really extreme cravings again. Um, and then I was even reacting to meat. Like I was reacting to steak. I was reacting to everything after that. Um, then I got a coach. I was recommended to try raw carnivore. I ended up getting a really bad bout of food poisoning
Oh,
while
no.
on raw carnivore. And I couldn't eat for like a week. And then I was dealing with that on top of the COVID.
Oh, my gosh.
And so after that, when I came back to carnivore, my gut was so wrecked that I couldn't even tolerate the meat anymore. I was like, I can't even do the fat, the whatever. I don't know if I developed gastritis or what it was, but I couldn't even eat meat anymore. I was basically living off of baby crackers, like white rice, baby crackers, like baby food, like strained squash. That's all I could handle. I couldn't even handle meat anymore. I like no stomach acid. Like everything was destroyed. And then, um, if you could believe this, so after that, things started to heal eventually when the long COVID started to die down, and the food poisoning kind of like all that kind of wore off the inflammation from that. And then I went mostly animal based after that. I decided for whatever reason I wasn't going to go back to strict carnivore, but I was going to go like 95%. It came with a lot of fasting and a lot of other things I did to heal as well. 36-hour fast, 48-hour fast. Um, and then, if you could believe this, so 7 weeks ago, I went strict carnivore again. Okay, strict, strict, strict. I don't do anything anymore. Like sometimes I have a little bit of flavor electrolytes, but that's as far as I go. And then basically once every 2 weeks, I'll have like a few baby carrots just to help with the oxalate dumping because I don't do well with tea. And I swear to God, just that, like literally just that little bit of fruit I was eating, a little bit of watermelon, a little bit of squash, a little bit of white rice every now and then, every couple days. The last week or so, I feel, and I don't know what it is for me, that 6 week mark. The last week, I've been feeling absolutely incredible. Like
Good. Good.
amazing. I feel so good right now. It's incredible. I
And
get 4 hours.
sorry, Scott, when you say strict carnivore,
Yeah.
is it pretty much the lion diet, or are you
Yeah,
allowing
pretty
anything else?
close. Pretty
Okay,
close. Yeah. Well, thanks to Angela. Like Angela is the one who really taught me how to do a proper low histamine diet.
yeah,
So she got me onto a distributor here called Billy Doe Meats,
yeah,
and they do all like unaged beef, unaged lamb, unaged goat. I do organs. So Angela like really taught me the ins and outs of that and how to do it properly, how to source your meat properly.
mhm,
So so now like I'm pretty much just eating goat, lamb, some beef, and the odd bit of I do a little bit of salmon because I could tolerate it, and like a little bit of butter.
mhm,
So it's not quite lion, but I'd say it's like probably 90% lion.
okay,
And I've really felt the shift in this last week or so, where my mental clarity is getting better. Like everything's getting better for the most part. My digestion, like I could eat way more now. I'm
mhm.
not reacting. So you guys have really caught me at a good time. If you caught me 2 weeks ago, I was probably crying to Angela on the phone because I was going through, I think it was die off. And I was like really feeling shaky and like flu like and just not good. But so anyway, so lo and behold, I'll just add one more thing. And I know I'm really long winded in my answer here. I apologize, guys.
You're okay.
So I have this breath test thing that checks for SIBO. It's like this little square device called a food marble, and I've had this thing for a few years now. And once in a while, I would check it, and it always blew 10 out of 10 on methane. So 10 was the highest number. I never had anything below 10. And
Mhm,
every time I did a medical, like a breath test before, like a lactulose breath test, it always was like through the roof. Like my methane numbers would get as high as like 100,
Wow.
which is almost unheard of. If you guys know
Wow.
anything about SIBO,
mhm.
right? So for the first time in 9 years testing SIBO, I tested again this week with my food marble. My methane is zero.
Wow,
Whoa.
amazing.
Really?
Zero. My
Holy
hydrogen is
cow.
my hydrogen is still slightly high, but it's still I think below the threshold of what they call SIBO. But my methane now is zero.
Amazing.
Excellent.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
Excellent.
yeah.
Oh,
So and then I'm going to throw one more thing and one thing that I think is also really helping is I'm doing a lot of meat stock with lamb shank. I do Billy Doe meats lamb shank, and I throw that in the pot. I only cook it for an hour, and I'm doing a couple cups of that a day. And I think that's making a difference. I think that's like actually healing my gut to some extent. I
Mm.
could, it might be placebo, but anyway, that's my story pretty much in a nutshell. I'm sorry to keep it so
wow.
long, but
Amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not going to say everything's healed. It's way too early. It's way too early to tell, but it's only been a week since I've really been feeling really good. But man, I'm hoping this keeps up.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you to Angela. Yeah, thank you to Angela Lero for listening to me. Angela has been such a great friend, and I've cried on her shoulder a million times, and just not knowing what to do anymore because the symptoms. It's like when you deal with illness for so long, it's like it's even though the illness gets better, you just become so fatigued with being sick all the time.
Yeah,
You can't.
your body's just used to it all the time. Yeah,
But it's like, and then people say, "Oh, well, you must get used to it, right? Like it's not as
mm.
bad anymore because you're so used to being sick." It's like, no,
Yeah,
no, no, it gets worse.
yeah,
It's not the symptoms are getting worse. It's just that even though your symptoms are getting better, it's like trying to live with chronic illness for 10 years or longer
Yep.
mm.
Yep.
is so difficult, and you're just
Mhm.
so tired of it. You just want to live a normal day just
And
once.
yeah, and at the end of the day, all you're doing is just masking a symptom with all the medication. You're not actually getting to the root cause. Whereas finally now, you're getting there. You kind of have an idea where you need to go from here.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope carnivore continues to take you away from all that. I know what you're talking about. I went through a lot of chronic illnesses that really just ran my life. And with carnivore, I just take being normal for granted now. I'm in my seventh year of carnivore, and I could never, ever, ever go back. It
Seventh
just
year, you said?
seventh year, yes.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. How about you,
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, this will five years now.
What
And
Angela speaking?
Mark's 5 years?
5 years now, yeah.
5 years.
It's
And,
I live in a country where we're anti-carnivore over here, but I'm always telling people like, listen, this diet has literally changed my life. I have the same as
oh,
you
that's
guys.
awesome.
Like I was on the verge of suicide on many occasions. I couldn't figure it out. I've been in the fitness game for well over 30 years. I thought I could figure all this out. I was looking after my health. I thought I looked amazing, but in the background, I was just suffering with my mental health, and I never wanted to go down that route of going on antidepressants. I always thought, no, I should be able to figure this out. I should be able to figure it out, but it was getting really bad, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And everything was going on in the gut. I was I was like a feeling horrendous. It was just terrible, absolutely terrible. Yeah, so 5 years now, and I have experimented in the past, but yeah, I won't be going back. It's just an amazing.
That's amazing. Ange, how long you been carnivore now for? A few years, right? Almost 5 years. Yeah. Yeah. That's about when I first started was I think it was March 2021 is when I first heard about it.
Mm.
Yeah. Or that's when I first kind of dipped my toes. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember because I had a conversation with Angela a couple of years ago, and she actually led me down that route as well. Because I was actually dealing with people that had histamine issues, and I didn't know that it was just a matter of just changing the meats around. And ever since I remember she telling me years ago, just change the beef to lamb, and instantly people's reactions are so much better. They weren't getting the itchiness anymore. They weren't getting those flare ups anymore. And this was in a matter of like 6 to 12 weeks. People's conditions were just going to be completely reversed.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, well, I guess I hate to blow smoke for Angela, but I mean she's one of the best coaches out there, if not the best coach for histamine intolerance. And
100%. Yeah,
I
100%.
and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's like I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but once you've been sick for so long, especially dealing with extreme issues, like it's really hard for me to listen to people or take advice from people that haven't like known what it feels like to be
Yeah,
sick
yeah,
like that.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like you have like doctors, like I can't listen to doctors anymore telling me how to resolve my issues when they've never had my
Yes.
issues or they have no understanding as to what's causing my issue.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
Mm. They just
So
throw more medicine at you.
Yeah,
what's that, Ange?
I think
Oh,
she's,
that's how we bonded over food poisoning.
yeah, that's pretty awful. I've had it too. I had E. coli. It was just nasty. 9 days of just everything flowed.
Yeah.
And it was just awful. Nausea, diarrhea. It was just terrible.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a lot of people, I'd say like the carnivore community, I love the carnivore community. I'm planning on posting this in my group, but I'm very honest. Like if people know me, like I throw whatever the heck I want out there. Like, you know, sometimes I get horrible feedback for it, but there's like a subset of people in the carnivore space. I think like we're all kind of skeptical of like the system. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why there's so many different subsets of groups in carnivore. Like you have a lot of Bitcoiners and people in precious metals, and you have the Maha crowd and the
Mm-hmm.
biohackers, and we're all people who think outside of the box. We're all people who
Yes.
think outside the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the crazy
I think we lost you for a second, Scott. Could you repeat what you were saying? Oh dear, there's goes our connection. One, once again, Scott, you started to say you have the crazies
Sorry, did somebody cut out? Did I cut out?
a little bit, yes, briefly, but you're back
Ah,
now.
okay. I was just saying that you do get a few crazies in the carnivore community that
Hmm.
have gone so far in the conspiracy la la land, but
Mm,
I'd
Yeah.
say for the most part, we're a pretty sane, logical, reasonable
Hmm.
bunch.
yeah,
Oh, I think so, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy when people are saying that we're crazy, and you look at what people are eating nowadays. It's like
Oh my
you
gosh.
don't realize
Yeah.
what you're doing to your body. It's and like we've been on
Mm.
both sides. We've been on both sides of it. We've seen both sides. We know exactly what's going on. It's just but people are so brainwashed they don't actually realize the
Oh,
addiction, the
it's
how much power these foods have on the body.
It does. It's heartbreaking.
yeah. I try to have empathy for them because I was one of those brainwashed people.
Yeah,
When I first
Yeah.
heard about carnivore, I thought it was nuts. I thought it was
yeah,
for lunatics.
yeah.
I was like, oh, these
Mhm.
are a bunch of just I don't know. I just
Extremists.
thought
Yeah.
I thought they were extremists. I thought they were all crazy. Um, and it's funny. I just had my birthday a couple weeks ago, and I went out for steak with some of my friends, and I told them I'm back strict carnivore again. I won't eat anything else. I was always like trying to be a little bit normal at dinners like that by getting like a little side dish of rice or something.
Mm,
Um, and people say to me, they're like, "Oh, you're back on the damn carnivore diet," and I could tell like some people are judging me for it or whatever. And I'm like, how crazy of a world is it that, you know, we're sitting at the table, they're all eating fake food. I'm eating real food, and I'm the
mm,
crazy one,
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. How does
yeah.
that work? That's not right.
right?
And
So,
you must have met a lot of people at your events. These people that have like life changing stories.
oh yeah, oh my God, it's like the people that come to my events are the most like battle hardened people. And that's
Yeah,
why I think that, it's important to have community. I think
yeah,
that's like such a healing part of anyone's journey.
hmm,
Um, but having like minded people, that's a different story.
yeah,
When you have people who think alike that have experienced the level of suffering that people in our community have experienced, and you're able to like bond over that and what you believe in,
yeah.
it's a whole new different type of relationship. Like Angela, like I absolutely love. Like me and Angela, like people think we're like, I don't know, an item at my events because we're what I
We
mean?
feel
Like
like we do. We are
everyone's so
too.
lovey with each other. You know?
Mm.
Feel
What's
like we
that?
are too.
What's that, Ange? We fight like we are too. Yeah, that's right. She keeps me in my place for sure.
Amazing.
Uh but it's one of those things. It's a kind of love and connection that I've never felt before. I've always felt like a bit of an outsider.
Mm,
I've always felt a bit strange. I am a weird guy. Let's face it. I'm a weird guy compared to the average person, right?
mm,
But now it's like now that I've kind of taken that leap from the so-called matrix, now I've found my crew. I've found these other warriors in the outside of the matrix that are wearing their dark overcoats and sunglasses and flying up to the moon
mm.
because I discovered the truth.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and you guys included.
Yeah,
Well,
I
thank
feel the
you,
same.
because I
No,
feel the same way too.
yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I live in a country now where everybody's anti-carnivore, so I feel like I'm an outsider in this country. And if I didn't have these conversations with the likes of you guys, honestly, I'd go mad because I wouldn't be able to have the conversation with the guy next door, and he's talking about the standard diet, or he's talking about his medication. I just wouldn't be able to get. I wouldn't be able to get on board with it. Um, I need to be
Well,
around. I need to be around people that are like-minded. Myself and Victoria have been doing this now for the last 8 months. We must have interviewed well over 100 people now, and every single one of
wow.
them had unbelievable, amazing stories. Amazing stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
I
on
mean,
a
think
year
about all the
now.
autoimmunity. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just that
Yeah.
it's changing the world, and I don't understand why there's the pushback. I don't understand why people are so against it.
So much
Well,
establishment.
I think, yeah, I've thought a lot about that. I think people want to believe that the world that they live in that's structured for them, that box that they're living in, is good. They don't want to, and I think that on a subconscious level, I felt the same way. I didn't want to think that what I was taught growing up and what I believed in growing up wasn't all a bunch of rubbish. And
Yes. Yeah.
the problem is when you open that door to carnivore, it opens the doors to a lot of other stuff because you start learning about the truth in other realms
Yeah.
as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
and not only, it's not just about the world, it's about yourself, the truth about yourself. It's a real spiritual journey. And um, I'm so I have a long way to go to be the person I want to be, but I feel like I'm getting there for the first time in my life.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I at least know who I want to be now, and I know I have a good sense of myself. Whereas before, I think what leads to a lot of depression for a lot of people is that they feel lost and they feel like I'm not living up to my purpose. Uh, I they maybe they just don't really know themselves as well as they think they do. And when you find yourself and you find your purpose, it changes everything.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's like you've
'Cause
been drugged
I
for
mean,
so
at the end,
long.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, if you've been doing a lot of damage to your body, Bart Kay says this all the time, that if you've done a lot of damage to your body over the years, like 20 years of damage, it's probably gonna take the same amount of time to heal.
Yeah. And you got to charge your battery, man.
What, what do you mean? Is it?
I see it looks
Um,
like it's at zero. Are we? And
yeah.
okay, never mind.
She's at zero.
My bad. I just saw the zero battery in the corner.
Scott, I would really like to hear about how you founded the Meat
There we go.
Stock Festival. If you would tell us about Meat Stock,
Um,
how that
well,
started.
it's to people like, yeah, thanks to people like Angela. I like to Angela speak about. So in 2023, I did a retreat, and we had a few people there, like Lily Kane and Sally Norton. I was
Mm-hmm.
already really good friends with Sally. And then some other people in Tennessee that live close by, like Serena Music and Kelly Hogan. Trying to think of who else. Uh, well, that might have been it. J.C. Gregory, like a few other people who were sort of known in the carnivore community, and then the following year just was way more in demand. People, like, I had a lot of people email me saying like, "Hey, when are you doing this retreat again?" Um, and that's when Angela came for. We had like two retreats back to back, and maybe Angela could speak to what her experience was like. I'm not trying to get her to plug it. You could be
Well,
honest, Ange.
I mean,
Mm.
I feel like I manifested coming to your retreat because I got Campylobacter. And I remember seeing your retreat and being like, oh, I really want to go to
Mhm.
that, but like, I don't really know anybody yet in the community like that. And I really want to speak. And it was something that I was really putting, like, trying to manifest. Like, I want to start speaking. It didn't really matter at carnivore events. It was just, I wanted an opportunity to share my experience, but my knowledge about carnivore, autoimmune healing, Lyme disease, all of that. And I also wanted to start meeting more like-minded people. And I remember that was like before I even saw Meat Side. This was just stuff that I was thinking about that I wanted to bring into my life, and to, when you're going through something so deadly like chronic illness and Lyme disease and being on your deathbed and you're finally getting onto the other side, all you want to do is just surround yourself with other people who have gone through the same thing, but also share your experience. And then I got knocked down with Campylobacter because I ate raw meat. Well, it was raw, but it was but it was ground meat, but it was from a farm that I got in Pennsylvania from a farmer. And it was not like USDA inspected, nothing. It was like he butchered it in his kitchen. And so, and I didn't realize that I didn't cook it well enough, and I thought I had the norovirus, and it ended up going to the hospital after 12 days, and they just kept saying it was a norovirus. And I said, can you just, test me? And that's how we found out it was Campylobacter. And so I was afraid to talk about it on Instagram, but I was like, you know what? I think people need to understand that, if you're not getting your meat from a trusted source, then you need to really maybe be more mindful of how you eat it. And especially if you have some sort of underlying gut issue or chronic illness and you don't have enough stomach acid, that can also be a factor to getting food poisoning as well. So you know,
Bingo. Exactly. Exactly. That's why you don't want to recommend raw meat, because a lot of people in our community
right.
have low stomach acid,
Yeah.
and they won't be able to break it down, and they'll get food poisoning. So you need a really good coach like Angela who will know something like that, instead of just following some kind of influencer. They'll say,
Right.
"Yeah, just eat
I
raw
mean,
meat all the time."
Mm.
Then
Mm-mm.
they all come to Angela
yep.
saying how sick they got.
And and I eat it now, but that's because did a lot of healing, and I take a lot of the things that I need to do to order to break that down, like digestive enzymes, ox bile, um, even HCl at times. So you have to optimize your gut if you're gonna eat raw, like, and that's just my own experience. But anyway,
Mm.
Yeah, so you have to be healed
yeah.
by then to
But
eat it.
anyways, but I posted
Mm.
about that, and Scott
Yeah.
That's good advice. Yeah.
commented saying, "Hey, I actually got Campylobacter from eating raw meat too." And so then we just started talking, and he invited me to come, and I went, and I'll be honest, at first I was quite intimidated to go, but Scott was like, Scott and I had talked so much between, I think it was really like 2 weeks before the event even was going to be, but Scott and I talked almost every day. And so by the time I got there to meet him in person, it was like we had known each other for years. But what was great was that I did get to meet so many like-minded people, and I formed such beautiful friendships that I just continue. I mean, I still have them. I got to see them again at Meatstock this year, and I've just become so passionate about Scott's project, and I've been so adamant about about his mission. I think it's incredible how much he's expanded. I personally love just going there and hearing people's stories. I loved, the opportunity. I got to talk a lot about non-aged meats the first year, and I got to cook people organ meat while I was there, and share my story and speak. And um, it's just amazing what he's doing and what he's
Mm. Amazing. Mm.
Wow, I
You
can't
guys
wait
are
to
definitely making
go.
that. Yeah, making a difference. Well, Scott, we want to be
Yeah.
respectful of your time, but before we let you go, what are you doing a day? Are you eating one meal a day, two meal a day? What are you doing at the moment?
I don't really have a system. I The food noise has really calmed down for me. You might not look like it, but I suffered with binge eating disorder for a long, long, long time. And the food noise, that's another thing that's really helped, is now I could go pretty long intervals between eating. But then again, I don't know if it's just because like I'm strict carnivore again, but I've been dropping a decent amount of weight. So I'm a little trying to be cognizant of that as well. So, I mean, sometimes I eat 2 meals a day, sometimes three. Mostly recently, the last few weeks has mostly been three a day. Um, But and I try to mix some fasting in there. But like I said, my weight's really come down, so I'm trying to eat.
Mm.
um, Especially now that I could handle digestively, I can handle foods again. So yeah, really, that's it. I'm just going to keep going with it and not lose sight as to what made me feel this way right now, and hopefully we won't have some kind of post-apocalyptic virus that goes around, or
Yes, I
I
hope
won't get
not.
food poisoning, or I won't get hit by a car as soon as our interview's done, or something like that to derail me again. Maybe this is my
Really.
time where I have a little bit of good luck for once. But look, I don't regret anything. Like um, I think that I am where I'm supposed to be, and even when I was extremely ill, I was where I was supposed to be, and it's like I said, I have a lot more gratitude in my life now. I feel like I've derived a lot of purpose from all my struggles, and yeah, I just have a lot of sort of exciting projects on the go right now. So life is good. I'm feeling very good right now, and I got two beautiful kids. I got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they call Angela Andrea.
Mm.
And yeah, yeah. So really, really, that's it. Now I have my electrolyte business coming out. I hate to plug that, but I'm going to. So it's called Salter, Saltr, and we're developing electrolytes that are really clean. So I really want the cleanest product out there. We get our salt from this off this small island in Norway. It's a very unique salt, and I think they're the best tasting electrolytes. And we're launching that pretty soon. So that's exciting.
Is that going to go global, or is it going to be only in the States?
I don't know. I think states, probably North America for now, and then we'll go global with it at some point. Um, and then Meatstock 2026. So that's April. So the convention itself, if you're only attending the convention, it's May 2nd and 3rd in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. If you're attending the retreat, we're long sold out of the retreat tickets, but that runs from April 30th to May 4th. So it's kind of a unique experience where you actually get to live with the speakers. And you wake up in the morning, you go for a workout with Dr. Baker. You eat dinner beside Michaela Peterson, and it's kind of a cool experience you don't really get at other conventions. And you could come meet Angela and hear her speak, and a lot of great people. It's just all about community and finding friends and making lasting connections. And we're all on a great mission together in terms of trying to heal the world and you know, make this world a little bit healthier, because it's pretty darn sick right now. It's not getting any better. So
Mm.
I think it's our even if no one listens, it's our duty to keep spreading the message. And people are listening, right? I mean, 5 years ago, you would have been a crazy person if no one had even heard of carnivore back then, just a few years ago. And now you have people in the government talking about it. You have the guy who's in charge of HHS talking about being on a carnivore diet.
Mm.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
That's unreal. You have guys, right?
Mm.
Like, we've made a lot of progress. We have everyone talking about seed oils now on national news.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like,
It's
we've
wonderful.
made a lot of progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Great. Honestly, great message. Well, Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure listening to your story.
Thank you guys.
We'll definitely have to get you back on in a few months' time and see where you are. But yeah, your story's been incredible. I hope it inspires a few people that are going to be listening to this podcast.
Yes.
Well,
If
I'll try not to
anybody,
talk so much next time, but
no, that's wonderful. Thank
I'll
you.
bring some results with me.
Now,
Yeah. Hopefully we can do this again and bring some results. And can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys find me? And Mark, are you coming to Meatstock?
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll come over next
You'll be
year.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys could find me at Meatstock, yeah,
you
that's
are,
awesome,
Mark?
man. Listen,
Ah,
Yeah, I'm gonna come over next year. Yeah, I've said to a few people I'm gonna try my best to get over. There's a few
I
people
will,
that
I
are
wonderful.
there's a
will.
few people there's a few people that I know that are attending the event, and we're gonna try and they're from Europe, and we're gonna try and get on a flight,
Hmm.
and we're all gonna go over.
Yeah. We get people from Australia. We get people all over the world. If you guys come find me and stake on me.
Oh,
I'll
Amazing.
sit you right next to me, and you guys have steak on me. So
you're so
please come
sweet.
up to me.
That's great.
I'll be
We'll find
amazing.
you.
I'll
And
I'll
speaking of
keep
finding you,
100%.
sorry, can people find you
Go ahead.
on social media? What's the best way to find you on social media?
You could do Meatstock USA on Instagram. Our biggest group, well, we have a pretty good group on Facebook, and that's also
Uh-huh.
Meatstock USA.
Okay.
Really, those are really my only two avenues
Great.
right now.
Well, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
actually, there's a new channel that we're doing. So all of our speakers are going on a couple different channels. We've had Emily Penn. I think her channel is Inner Clarity Systems, and there's also a brand new carnivore channel by Lauren Johnson. And she just had Shafi on. She had Dr. Berg on. So all the speakers from Meatstock, she's getting on her channel as well. It's a brand new
Mhm.
channel, and I highly suggest you guys check that out.
Super.
Okay.
We'll put
And
all
check
those
out
links below.
Angela's channel. Angela's channel.
Yes.
I can't wait. I can't wait to share this in my groups, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
Been a
it's
pleasure,
totally our
Casca. Been a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, gang.
All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. You take care and
Speak
be
soon.
healthy.
Thanks very much. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye now.
Thank you.
Okay, reporting